calling to order the November 4th, 2022 meeting of the Berlin Cultural Council at 7:41 p.m. pursuant to Governor Baker's order of sometime in March 2020. We are still allowed to meet via Zoom, and the meeting is recorded, and I don't actually care about the dialogue that came with that years ago. Just want to check that everyone is well connected and ready to start.
Yep.
Okay. So the first order of business is the meetings from the last minute meeting.
I know there was an error that I corrected, but I don't think I resent it out.
Okay.
It was something where I put, I think I didn't have like the two different people with the, brain fog is bad today. With the firsting and seconding.
Oh, somebody who did a motion and somebody who seconded it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just put the same name twice. Karen caught it right after I sent the minutes out, and I fixed it in the document, but I don't think I recalled. I don't think I remembered to resend it to everyone.
Got it.
Well, if you could resend it to me at some point, so I can put that on the website. But do we have any other discussion of the minutes other than that minor correction?
I move we accept the minutes as corrected.
I second that motion. So we'll put that to a vote. Jess, are you in favor of that?
I am.
Deborah, are you in favor of that?
Yes.
Sandra, are you in favor of that?
Yes, I am.
And I am in favor of that. So the meeting minutes from I guess we're in November, from a month and a half ago, are approved. I guess we're all tongue-tied tonight. So the second order of business was the treasurer's report. Do you have any comments on that?
Nope, I sent it out to everybody, so I hope everybody had a chance to look at it. I just submitted, well, John Root and Roger Bruno were our carryovers from 2020. So they have since completed. They both forgot that we gave them a little extra money when money got turned back. So I sent out a note to them that, I mean, that's a nice note to get, that you're getting $50 more. So
it's funny too, because on the Roger Bruno one that had been sponsored or hosted or whatever by the Friends of the Library, and Pat Smith had emailed me at one point to check what the money was, and I couldn't remember whether we had given them extra money, but I was looking through meeting minutes from before and I just wasn't finding it. So I was like, so I think that I had passed along the amount as before it had been added to.
Okay, yeah.
But I am excited that we have those two done and not carry over another year.
Yeah, me too. So the only two that are left from the 2022 monies is Meredith Charles, and she should be finishing up soon, and then Neshoba Symphonic. So that's all we have left to pay out. And so I'm sure you all looked at it. We have $7,000 to available for granting for 2023.
Yes.
Oh, and I did submit in October the financial report that we needed to be in place in order for us to proceed as we're proceeding.
Excellent. Do we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make the motion to accept the treasurer's report.
And I will second that, so we can bring that to a vote. Jess, are you in favor?
I am.
Deborah, are you and your cat in favor of?
Yeah, he didn't like it though. I have a feeling he found a mistake, but that's okay. We'll talk.
I guess we have the last minute commentary on that report, but
Well, he's a non-voting member anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Sandra, are you in favor of accepting the treasurer's report?
Absolutely, with a big thank you to Deborah.
And I am in favor of it as well and would like to add my own great thanks for that. So the treasurer's report is approved, and now for main order of business is the 21 grant request. So just to reiterate, tonight's meeting is only to establish whether we are approving or not approving of the grants. The actual division of money will take place at the next meeting because we have to give the ones we reject a chance to appeal, and should that appeal be successful, we would have to still have money to potentially give. And as a note, Deborah just said we have $7,000 to give out, and the total grants were we to approve them all, and the amounts they requested add up to $13,112. But that is an improvement on last year, where I believe I want to say it was 16,050. So one of them was a repeat one. So the real request was like 15,500, but so we've scaled back to like 2,500 less being asked this year. So hopefully that will make it easier. So I figure we can go in the order they were in on the site, which would make the first one the request for the Assabet Valley Master Singers for the free season tickets for Berlin seniors. Which, as a side note, I was at 19 Carter today, and they had 10 tickets that had been sent to the Council of Aging available to Berlin residents. So the letter that was attached, as always, directed it to the Berlin Senior Center, which does not exist.
Wow, that is a first. I've never seen that happen in all the years I've been on the council.
Yeah, I can't recall that before. I mainly know their continued inability to recognize we don't have a senior center, but
Does that mean we're now obligated since they sent those tickets?
I don't think we are.
No,
I go ahead.
I'm just interested to know, I mean, this is a first. Usually we get two that come in to us and then they get taken over to 19 Carter since we don't have the senior center. So I'm glad to hear that they've made an effort, that they've put 10 tickets out. I just wonder how many of our seniors actually attend, because the concerts are all in Westboro, Southboro. There's nothing close by for the seniors. And I don't necessarily know if they're during the day or later in the day, which I know I don't like to drive when it's dark out. So that's where I'm headed with this, is that, you know, even though these tickets are available, how many of them are going to be used?
Yeah.
I have the same questions.
Yeah, I found the distance on that to be questionable of how much that would really be used. I mean, I'm grateful that they seem to be in greater compliance this year, though. Since the tickets were sent to the Council on Aging, I'm curious whether have we talked to the Council on Aging before about whether they've been getting sent tickets in previous years? because I vaguely recall that we may have discussed that with someone there before. Because, I mean, in theory, they could be getting sent tickets and we were just unaware of it.
But how would they have been dispersed? Because the Council on Aging, well, maybe they would give them over to Judy, who is in charge now, but I've never seen it advertised. Like in Powder House News or one of those things that goes to the seniors, or I don't know, perhaps at a meeting. I mean, Judy might be somebody to ask.
Yeah, I'm curious about that as well. Does something like that, would that make it into the Powder House News if the Council on Aging had tickets available for something? I'm afraid I've never looked to.
You're not on the mailing list?
I'm afraid that I'm not. I do fear I am a tad younger than the majority of my friends in town. So I probably have some leftovers my grandmother had years ago in the mess of my house, but I can't recall whether I ever really looked at those before.
Yeah, I would think it would be put in the newsletter at some point that the tickets were periodically available and who seniors should contact to get them. I think it's interesting that they ended up over at 19 Carter.
Yeah.
Somebody finally figured out they should be somewhere.
Well, I mean, they did get sent to the Council on Aging. So like the envelope was still there with it and the letter. So the envelope went to the Council on Aging and the letter was addressed to Berlin Senior Center.
Oh, Karen's here.
Yes.
Yay.
Just to catch you up, we have approved the minutes from last meeting and we approved the treasurer's report, and we are now discussing the first grant, the Assabet Valley Master Singers, and we're noting the fact that tickets did get sent this year to the Council on Aging, and there are like 10 of them at 19 Carter, though they continue to address their letter to Berlin Senior Center, which does this. Probably too fixated on that point, but I really wish if they're gonna ask the town for money, they should be able to do more than a form letter. Well, a letter can be a form letter.
Can somebody remind me if we gave them money last year?
I believe we did not.
We didn't. We haven't given them money for a couple of years. I know there's an option for us to pass over something. I don't know where that puts us in denial letters.
Can we look at the other applications and circle back to this one?
We can.
And past practice, when we have granted money, it's been $100. It hasn't been the full amount that they're requesting. So I mean, maybe it's the same thing that's happening, you know, across the board with them, that these tickets were not really being made available to seniors in the area, and now they realize they really have to do this.
Why don't we pass over this for the moment and circle back to it after we've gone through the other grants?
Okay.
So the second one is from the Berlin Memorial School for the project Fruit Flies Like a Banana, Young Audiences Art Learning. Is requesting $1,030.
I may have concerns about the amount. They already ran it anyway, but I think we should certainly fund it for something. So I think we should approve it personally.
Yeah, I kind of am in the same boat. I know last year we got a big request because of a performance that had to be done twice in order to make it compliant, which unfortunately, given our funding limitations, can't really give most of these grants the amount of money they are requested, even if we are fond of them. But I certainly, you know, the school programs are one of our core areas of funding that I have no problem with approving this. Any other commentary on this request?
No, I'll move that we accept whatever the proper terminology for this is. We move this one forward.
Oh yeah, I think we can just vote on it. I don't think we need to make a motion to vote on. I mean,
Okay,
anyway.
so the motion should be we vote on this then, right?
Can we make just a blanket motion that when discussion's done, we just take
Yeah.
a vote?
Yeah, but
This is like yay or nay, right? This round. Yeah.
Okay, so let's bring this one to a vote. So Jess, yay or nay for
Yep.
Deborah, yay or nay for
Yes.
Sandra, yay or
Yes.
nay. Karen, yay or nay.
Yay.
And I vote yay as well, so that one passes unanimously. Next is from the Berlin Seniors, Honky Tonk Piano.
Again,
Excuse me,
the
Honky
seniors.
Tonk Piano
So I
Man.
vote yes.
Is this the same person they had last year? Didn't they have a similar? I'm only questioning. I agree we support the seniors. I'm just asking if.
I can look at his thing. I have the panel book open. Hang on.
Yeah.
It is saying they've had him before. I don't think it's indicated exactly whether that was last year or not, but.
Yeah, my iPad won't proceed. Come on.
But the Berlin Seniors are always good about not making their requests for too much money. That when we had last year, one of the ones that was the performer had submitted a grant request, but accidentally they ended up with duplicate from seniors, and I had talked to Judy about that at the time, and the fact that the money came up, and she's consciously is trying to keep the numbers at an amount that she feels we'd be able to do, which, I mean, we can always approve things for lower amounts, but it's appreciated that our limited funding is acknowledged by the seniors, and obviously given the age of people in the community, the senior activities are again another one of our core items. So I am with this one. So any other commentary, or should we?
His grant does say he's been here before, Deborah, just an answer to your question, but it doesn't say when.
Yeah, I think it was last year, and I was wondering.
Maybe it was really popular.
Yeah, and back to what MJ said, they had something else at one point, and then they replaced it with something. So I couldn't remember if that was the one had been replaced, and so they're wanting to call this person back. You know, I think it's interesting. When I tried to get into it, it says that somebody else has this one checked out, so I couldn't get past a certain point in looking at it.
Oh, the panel book?
Yeah.
Oh, I can close it.
No. No, it doesn't matter. I think it's interesting that only one person in our group is able to get to a certain point with it.
Except for a fact, I think both, I was in it too, so I think both Jess and I were in it at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah, but all 5 of us have availability, don't you think, when we're looking?
so are we looking at FY23? Is that it? I might be even on the wrong one. I have to go switch.
Yeah,
If
no,
we're on
yeah,
FY23,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, okay. I opened the wrong one.
Do you want me to close out of it? Because I'm taking minutes, so I don't need to keep it
No, it
open.
doesn't. No, I think we all,
But if somebody else wants to be in it,
I was
I
just
have-
making the statement that as we were looking at it, I went to look and
Yep.
it said somebody else, it was locked.
I understood you were just commenting, but I'm also offering that really I don't need it open. So I
It
will
seems like
close it.
that might have been a fluke.
Oh,
Well, I've closed out of it, so
Okay,
I shouldn't be blocking if that's the block.
okay. Well, anyway, it sounds like we're ready to bring this one to a vote, however, so, Jess, yay or nay?
Yep.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Yay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Yay.
Karen, yay or nay?
yay.
And I am in favor as well, so that is unanimous. And so we have another one from the Berlin seniors next. Berlin has talent.
This one looked like they were actually trying to make it community-wide and all ages.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was my understanding of it as well. And
Oh, yeah.
it sounded interesting. I was not kind of what I was expecting, but we usually get so many things that fit into the same category. So I thought that this was a neat extension into a little different territory.
I have a question. Are we doing this in order? Silly
Yes.
question. That's right there. Okay. Where are we again? Like the number
Number
4.
Okay, good. We said yes to the healing garden?
we haven't
We
got.
haven't gotten to them yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's coming up as number 1 for me though.
No, this one is Berlin has talent, number 4.
Okay.
so maybe the order is something that can be. I think it's you can reformat it to different orders. So the order that it's at least default on my screen and what I'm going with is by the applicant's name and alphabetical order. So, Assabet Valley Master Senior Sport, Memorial School, Berlin Seniors, etc.
Okay.
But I think you can reorder it by applicant, project title, total expenses. So if you click on it by applicant, that should put you in the order that you're going in. Any other comments on this grant? Okay, hearing no other comments, we can bring this one to a vote. Jess, yay or nay?
Yep.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Yes.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Yes.
Karen, yay or nay?
Yeah.
And I'm in favor, so this one is unanimous in favor as well. Which now brings us to the
I
Berlin.
have to abstain from this one.
But
I'm one of the co-presidents. So I will mute myself unless you have questions I can answer.
Anyone else have comments to? Well, I guess that wasn't a comment as such, but anyone have anything to say on this one?
I think it's important that we fund this one. It's Tohoto and it's about mental health of the students and families. I think it's a really important program to be brought to the community.
Yes, I would agree as well, particularly in terms of the challenging years of life within the school system. Not that they aren't all challenging years, but I think with COVID, that has kind of in a metaphorical bomb dropped in the education system. So I would agree that the additional support for the well-being of students is something we should be funding. Do we have any other commentary on this? And we bring it to vote.
Oh, just that I think it's long overdue, something like this. So
Just do want to let everyone know it's actually also going to be available to the entire community, as well as for people who can't attend the recording of it, of the discussion, because we're going to be doing caregiver wellness and health too, which doesn't have to really, even though it's focused with youth, it won't have to be only caregivers of youth. Anyway.
Okay, so I think we're ready to bring that to a vote. Jess has already indicated her abstention based on conflict of interest. So Deborah, yay or nay?
Yes.
Sandra, yay or nay?
yes.
Karen, yay or nay?
Yes.
And I'm in favor as well, so that passes with 4 yays and 1 abstention. So that brings us next to Meredith Charles Improv.
I'm feeling like we have to give Meredith a year off. She's been, I know she's, very good at what she does. She's been doing this now for as long as I can remember being on the council. And because of the amount of money that we have to take out, we should consider not funding this year. Again, it can be a circle back, but I'm not sure the program, of course, I've never been to it, so I can't say this, but I can't imagine how many people it serves. Is it a large number of people that come to this program? Does anybody know?
I think the classes themselves are fairly small, and then I believe I wouldn't swear to it that there is like a end performance or something that might be better attended. But I think in terms of the main activity, I believe it is generally a small number.
Yeah, so I think that's something we have to consider on this one, and we have funded it for a really long time. And last year we decided not to fund the music programs, the Havens and I forget the man that we had been funding all along, and said, we've been doing this for so long and it doesn't really provide opportunity for a lot of the kids in our town. And I know this is an adult program and that's important too, but same thing with the money that we've got, are we better off having the money go to programs that serve a larger amount of people?
I'm going to suggest, since you indicated something we could potentially circle back to, I'd like to pass and circle back on, only because we're using as a potential criteria the fact that it is one we have been funding for a number of years. So I just think it might be better if we vote on it later then, so we can see whether in dealing with other grants, we're keeping consistent with that philosophy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
happy to circle back. I just wanted to put my 2 cents worth in
Yeah.
when I was looking at it for things that we need to, in order to cut back $6,000. This is
Yeah.
one I might want to give a year off to. That's my only thought process on that.
Okay, so let's circle back to that and move on to the guitar lessons for veterans, which I have marked down as something that I mean,
A concern that it's in air.
yeah, I just don't see that as something that's, I mean, obviously it's a drivable distance for someone who can drive, but air is a decent ways away for anyone in Berlin. You know, I don't hear anyone really talk about activities they're doing in air.
And I know Devon's is no longer there, but I'm sure they still have a not a sizable, but a decent amount of military personnel still living in the area. So
They still have active military on at Devon's.
Okay.
Actually,
all right. So
somebody who did yard work for us is there.
Yeah. So it's
part of
going
the
to
week.
serve that community and less of our community.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the fact that it is something, you know, different than other things that tend to come our way, but I just don't feel it's reasonable with the distance involved and the amount of money we have versus the amount that's been requested. Any other commentary on this one, or shall we bring it to a vote? There no other commentary. Jess, yay or nay?
I vote nay.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Nay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Nay.
Karen, yay or nay?
Nay.
And I vote against it as well. That one is rejected unanimously. Bringing us next to the Diane Edgecombe summer reading.
Well,
I did have a concern with the volume of requests from the library, but I don't want to just wholesale say no to any of them. I figure we'll have to have conversations about amounts when we know what we're looking at.
Agree exactly. I had the same feeling that Jess did when I counted it up. It was almost $4,000 worth of requests by the library. There were 7 requests and the total was around $4,000, which is obviously over half of our amount for granting. So I guess what Jess is saying, do we look at saying yes to all of them, but lessening the amounts, which we've done before. But last year, our focus was to fund specific programs rather than give smaller amounts to them.
That's a good point.
Sorry.
And it does seem like that there's kind of bit of an increase on how much the individual grants are, but I suppose everything has been going up in price in the world.
Is there a way, I just don't know if ethically we could do this though, of just letting the library know, look, you know, there's no way we can fund everything. So either we're going to be funding a little bit for a lot of programs, or do you have preferred programs that you really are invested in seeing run that you'd like us to make priorities to try and fund closer to the full amount. But I don't know how we can really do that though ethically.
I think one complication in that is that some of them come from the library itself, and some of them the library is sponsoring or what have you, but they come from the artist, so it might be harder for.
I noticed two were put in as from the town of Berlin too, rather than the library. But they were clearly library.
Yeah, because they were written by, I'm gonna look down to one of them, as you said.
Yeah, those are both from Sarah Foster, the children's librarian. Yeah, I think the complication would be even if a conversation was had with the library, that it wouldn't necessarily be in a good position to be able to indicate, like they could lower their own request coming from them, but if they valued theirs versus what was for the ones they were filling out versus the ones filled out by artists, it might be hard to really indicate that. But I don't think having a conversation itself would be unethical. I mean, it would simply be indicating a problem we have, which, I mean, this is public meeting now, that the library, people at the library could be looking at this recording or could have attended this meeting, so we would only be passing along already publicly available information.
I guess because just my concern is, I mean, when this isn't the meeting that we're doing it, but the meeting when we're talking about money, I'm going to be less likely to, when we don't have enough money to go around, the grant requests that come directly from the artists may be the ones that I'm saying, well, I can't give this as much money as the one that, the library is asking for, because we traditionally try to fund the library ones, even though they're all really coming from the library.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was sort of a way of, and I don't know if this was just their way of trying to, thinking that maybe we just can't do too many library things, but they really are all library things, and it's a lot of money.
My guess is that in terms of how it's been applied for, that it probably has more to do with what artists are more in tune with the system and are, I mean, that's just a guess. It's not anything, but I would imagine that some of them have been doing these programs for years and are used to applying for things themselves, and perhaps the ones that the library itself is applying for are with artists who aren't applying for other grants or have a different format for how they're used to doing it. I think that's probably also could be said of the seniors as well, because I think two of them come from seniors and one is from the artist itself, which is last year was where we had the issue where one had been duplicated, that the artist had been kind of late to getting theirs in, and so I think Judy had filled one out kind of as a backup to make sure it got applied for, and then the artist had gotten theirs in. So I think it's just the logistics of was better suited to fill in it, and I I don't think the library is organized enough to have come up with
So
strategy to try to.
I just read ahead into the Sarah Edgecombe one about additional funding. And it says that because of its benefits to the community, we hope the project will receive full funding, but if it does not, the Friends of the Library will look to provide the additional funds. So that's just the Sarah Edgecombe one. I didn't look.
Diane Edgecombe.
Sorry, Diane Edgecombe. So I would think if we look at the others and they all say this, the Friends of the Library, if we do give some funds to each of those projects, then the Friends of the Library will need to pick up the rest of it in order for the programs to run. It has to be partially their responsibility as well, you know.
And I think they are able to do that. Well, I was mentioning earlier about Pat Smith having reached out about asking how much we had granted to Roger Bruno for the Two Human performance. The question originated in making sure enough money was going to them. So I think she was trying to find out, how much additional the Friends were going to be aiming to come up with for that. So I think that indicates a general expectation of the Friends of the Library to be doing that.
Yeah, I'm checking through them right now, and the Maya Chak one said the same thing. And looking to see about the Makerspace one.
That one because that one sort of threw me because he was pretty expensive. I didn't see anything about additional funding on that one, but I may have missed it. I was reading quickly.
Let's see. Yeah, I didn't see, I can't find that particular question being answered in his.
Yeah, his doesn't, but did he submit that one on his own, or did Sarah submit that one?
Let me see, I think it was, yeah, individual. So he did.
So he certainly wouldn't necessarily have been able to promise that the Friends would pick up.
Yeah, but the other people did individual as well.
Oh, okay, and they did. Oh, it says the record is locked. All right, who's in there now? Not me.
It's not letting me read any further. Okay, so I can't give you that answer with the Makerspace guy.
I think whether it says it or not, all of the applicants, I mean, our guidelines we put out said that grants may be, made in lesser amounts. So all of them should be aware that this is a possibility. And if they can't pivot to being able to get funding elsewhere, I mean, worst case scenario, we approve one, give them half the money. If they can't do anything, they have to not do it, then we have more money coming to redistribute elsewhere. While not ideal, is, I think, a reasonable possibility.
I think the bottom line is we fund what we can. And like you say, if they can make it happen, that's great for them. Otherwise, there's always next year.
Right.
And I've been to Diane Edgecombe's stories before. She's a wonderful storyteller. And if the friends will back her up, then more power to her. And the Myatech one I've attended, and it's a wonderful program. I don't know about the Makerspace one though.
I think we funded, was he the same person we funded last year, the Makerspace?
His didn't run from
Oh.
what his application said, I thought.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
think-
kind of
I think
familiar.
that might have been one that couldn't pivot to when we,
He couldn't like really do it virtually, I think
Yeah.
was the thing. And he was supposed to come in 2019 or I don't know. His said that basically he was supposed to come right before COVID really shut everything. He got approved to come before COVID shut everything down and then couldn't pivot to virtual.
Okay.
I mean, I'm okay approving all of them. And then, you know, we fund what we can fund when we do the money meeting. And then the library has to make their decision
Yeah.
about what they do with that, whatever the results are after.
Yeah, because even if my math was correct, and I'm pretty sure it was close, even if we half fund all of them, that's still $2,000.
Right.
So that's a lot of money to, when we generally leave each school 1,000. So there's 2,000, 4,000 to the library. We still have 3,000 to go with other
But we
programs.
have the seniors. I mean, we always try to fund the seniors 3 programs.
So then if they're 1,000, we're still,
And then
Yeah.
there's always, you know, other random programs that really do benefit other cohorts in the town.
yeah.
so I do want to say, as far as the library programs, at least some of them are directed at a wider age range in theory that you know, the seniors is other people might attend, but that's directed at one population. The school is directed at another population, and the library, it's kind of hitting both of that and the in between. So I join in the concern about how much is coming from the library, but I think it's also hitting a wider demographic than a lot of the others. So I'm not overly uncomfortable with their number being higher than some of the others. But I think probably circling back to this particular grant, it is also my understanding, not having to attend, but this one is considered a particularly good quality one by the population involved. So are we ready to move to a vote on this one? Okay, so for the Diane Edgecombe Interactive Summer Reading Performance for Families, Jess, yay or nay?
Yep.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Yes.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Yes.
Karen, yay or nay? And you're muted. I read yes on her lips, so we'll go with that. And I am in favor of approving that as well.
Yay.
Another unanimous in favor one. So that brings us to Mary Jo Myatech music one that has the bizarrely specific number of $582. So I don't have any particular knowledge of this one other than what was in the grant itself, and trying not to be triggered by a last name that has been complicated for us before.
Different
I'm
address.
presuming this would be the wife of the other one. But
It could be, or a sister. Unless
Yeah.
they've moved, it's a different address.
okay. But that aside being said, it does seem like a different sort of program than some of the others, at least in terms of diversity of what it is doing. Cultural diversity. I'm trying to get at. Any
I'm just
other?
voting.
Any other comments? Karen, perhaps reemerge?
Karen has left the building.
Let's just bring this to a vote. Jeff, yay or nay?
Yes.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Yes.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Yes.
Karen, yay or nay?
Yeah, yeah.
And I am in favor of approving that. Well, so that is unanimous in favor and brings us to the makerspace. So at least we got some of these library ones in a row. So any comments about this one in particular?
No, I mean, it's a different type of activity, so probably it'll attract different participants, which is a good thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. And given it was not able to run before, being able to fund it this time would be good. So I think we're ready to bring it to a vote. Jess, yay or nay?
Yep.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Yes.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Yes.
Karen, yay or nay?
Yay.
And I am in favor as well. So that one is majority unanimous in favor. So that brings us to the Lynn McKinney Wildick Clara Barton one. So the seniors had her last year. That was the one that accidentally got put in twice last year, though. It is a different historical performance this time.
Okay, so what she says is if it's not fully funded, that the seniors would have to raise the additional funds.
Imagine this would be one given that it is a here now I'm getting this record is locked. Messing myself, so
I must have got there before you. I'll go back.
It's
go back.
interesting though. I didn't realize that like I can see some of it and then it's saying so like I don't know.
Yeah, and then it locks you out if somebody else is in there.
I'm not sure what I'm missing by because you get to see some of it. So
yeah,
I'm not sure what exactly is locked out, but
all right. Well, I'm out of it now, so you can read the same thing that. What else are the seniors? Do they have one more in here, or is that the only other?
The Honky Tonk Piano Man and the Berlin Has Talent were both the seniors.
I thought there was one closer to the end that was them too, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. But maybe not. Maybe it was. See, even though the Berlin Has Talent thing, even though it's going to be sponsored by the seniors, it's something that they're doing for the entire community, which I really like. So I kind of like to give them a buy on that one, that it's not something targeted directly for the seniors, which allows us, as we've done in the past, to try and give equal amounts of money to the different groups in town. But yeah, I don't see another one. So that makes me feel a little bit better about this one.
Yeah, I mean, I do imagine it would be one where, because it's asking for more money than the other senior ones, it may be more subject to a reduction in the amount we can give them. Like I was saying before, Judy is always good about not asking for more than she thinks we're going to be able to give, which the artists themselves is less likely to be, you know, to always have to choose high and be willing to settle, I guess. But I think it otherwise seems like something worth doing. If there's no other commentary on it, I think ready to bring it to a vote. Jess, yay or nay?
Yep.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Yes.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Yes.
Karen, yay or nay?
Yes.
And I'm in favor as well. So once again, unanimous. That brings us to the Marilyn Morales Always Remember, which if
I had a problem with this one.
yeah, the fact that it's virtual is my main issue with it, because I don't think that is going to be serving the population in town very well.
Yeah.
It also just felt like a very broad net, like there's no reason for hitting up our town other than we have some cultural council money. It's not really anything. There was no, God, my brain. The artist wasn't specifying like anything about why our town or who in our town might be sponsoring or helping or facilitating and publicizing it.
I believe that was kind of the problem before with some, was it was seeking to maybe get thrown on our, you know, local access, but yeah, it's not really particularly serving Berlin at all. And I am always suspicious of anyone who can't come up with who is gonna be doing this and exactly how it's being done. We do not have enough money for anyone to be figuring things out on the fly. So is there any other commentary on this one, or we bring it to a vote? Hearing no other commentary, Jess, yay or nay?
Nay.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Nay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Nay.
Karen, yay or nay?
Am I on? Nay.
Okay, and I am against, so that is unanimous against, which brings us to the Neshoba Symphonic Band. Always seems to be better at asking for money for grants than actually asking for the money itself. Reimbursement.
Yeah, I think the first time we approved a grant for them, they were doing a program at the mall, a Christmas program. And I'm looking at the project and it doesn't look like they do that anymore. They have they have 4 performances at Neshoba, October, February, May, and June. So again, it's not in our community. I think we went with them before because we felt that the mall was, you know, within our community, that people might go to the Christmas performance, but these are performances at the high school.
Well, it is at least a reasonable distance in that Bolton is the next town over.
Right.
We don't have that as a huge issue. It is not directly serving. So did they say anything about whether they had any members from Berlin?
I only saw that adults pay an annual fee to be in the band and students are free. I didn't see anything that pointed out a connection to town other than, you know, being a neighboring town and potentially people from town participate, but they didn't call out that people from town do.
Yeah.
I guess I sort of feel like for me, this is one of the ones that in a year when, you know, it looks like we will have the ability to fully fund directly, you know, in town and in town groups. I'm perfectly happy to include these guys in funding, but this isn't taking place here, and it's kind of questionable how many people from town it actually will benefit. And I think we just have so many other things that we know we're going to be trying to divide money between that directly serve people right here in town.
Yeah,
I just have trouble justifying trying to find money for these guys while cutting like the library or the schools or the seniors or the whatevers.
yeah, that seems like sound reasoning. Do we have any other commentary, or are we ready to bring that to a vote? Hearing none. Jess, yay or nay?
Nay.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Going nay this year.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Nay.
Karen, yay or nay?
Nay.
I will keep it unanimous and vote against it as well. That brings us to the 19 Carter Music Series, and I'm going to endeavor to stay out of that one, as though I'm volunteering again at night.
I think it's an important program that we fund. I don't know if we can fully fund them like as they're asking, but I think they have other sources of income and we can support that as being part of the income.
Makes sense to me too.
Do we have any other commentary on it? Hearing none, I will bring that to a vote. Jess, yay or nay?
Yay.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Yay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Yay.
Karen, yay or nay?
Yay.
And I am abstaining. That carries 4 votes in favor. That brings us to the Patrick Smith Afternoon of Brass. I have marked as something I'm not in favor of based on the distance.
I recall not supporting them last year either because it was just a difficult for justifying, given it's in Worcester and doesn't really have a connection to the community here.
Yeah, Worcester and Boston, and I think it's been like a good 3 years since I've even been in a suburb of Boston, let alone in Boston myself.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't think that is particularly serving this community. I mean, obviously, people in Berlin do find themselves in Worcester and Boston, but when they do, I don't think they're thinking about it as, hey, you know, this is a Berlin thing, or this is a local thing. We're off to the city thing. I don't see that as at all serving the Berlin community. Any other commentary on that? Hearing none, we can bring that to a vote. Jess, yay or nay?
Nay.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Nay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Nay.
Karen, yay or nay?
Nay.
And I'm voting against it as well. So that is unanimously rejected. Next is the Special Needs Advocacy Network 1.
So I need to just, because I don't know if I should be recusing from this or not. I've never heard of this group.
Well,
in my
I
work
think
with
that
CPAC.
eliminates your need to recuse yourself if
Okay.
you've never heard of them.
Okay. So I did look into them a little bit, and they're certainly legit, but I just didn't know if, because obviously I have some conflicts of interest with CPAC being a grant requestee this year.
I think the main problem I had with it was it's all virtual.
Yeah. Yeah,
Says
I
serves
I-
174,505 youth.
yeah, I found both the fact that it's virtual being questionable for how it serves, and that number of people served, even like I don't know what that figure is supposed to mean. Like, it's certainly not serving that many people in town. It's
I think they might have, and I question whether the number is actually accurate, but I think they figured how many kids receive special education services in town. But I don't know that that's an accurate number.
yeah.
I don't know if it includes the kids who are 504s. I doubt it is, because that wouldn't be information that I think they have access to. Anyway, I had a number of issues with this one, but like I said, I wasn't sure if I clearly have some conflicts of interest, so I don't know if I should be participating in this one or not.
We have no other comments on it. Bring it to a vote, I guess. So Jess, yay, nay, or abstain?
I guess I'll abstain.
Okay. Deborah, yay or nay?
I say nay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Nay.
Karen, yay or nay?
Nay.
And I am voting nay as well, so that is rejected by a vote of 4. So that brings us to the library's Pineapple Project.
Certainly looked like a good program. I'm certainly happy to put it into the pile to consider, but again, I don't think we're going to be able to fund all of the library's things as greatly as they'd like. This one certainly stood out as being a little different than their usual offerings, which was nice.
think same place, nice to see something different. Going to be tough to give library asking for. Any other commentary on this one? Hearing none. Yes, yay or nay?
Yay.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Yay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Yay.
Karen, yay or nay? Okay, I read yay on your lips, but you're muted.
Oh,
And
yay.
I am voting in favor of it as well, so that is unanimous, which brings us to the library's Korean culture one, which I did kind of want to address it in general why Korean culture specifically was something that was getting promoted. But again, this seems like it is something different from their usual offering. It's always a plus.
Is there an art project involved with this? Are they making something? I can't get, again, I can't get past a certain point here, but
Yeah. The Korean Spirit and Cultural Promotion Project has been interacting with youth, creating lotus flower lanterns with paper via tutorial videos and virtual instruction while including a history of Korean in the presentation. Our vision is to have teens and teens make their own lotus flower lanterns from kits picked up at the great is step-by-step instruction. Blah.
is this a virtual thing? Is that, so this isn't an in-person thing?
Sounds like it's kind of hybrid, but
That says it's at the library. Hmm.
It's nice to see a program for the older kids.
Yeah, it
Most of
says
the library's programming is the younger kids.
10 through seniors.
I would imagine at the very least, if there are these instructional videos, there might be something where it is happening at the library, but the instructor may not be physically present. So that is just it. Yes. Well, I am generally wary of virtual programs, given I'm not sure how well they serve people in Berlin. I think at least an age range that would be most apt to be, I question more something that's going to be for the seniors and how many of them are interested in virtual activity. But I should imagine with the tweens and teens that virtual activity is where they live. And I think certainly if it's coming from the library, they would have a sense, but I don't think they would be requesting anything virtual if they did not think it was going to work. So
It's a little vague as to how it's being presented, because at one point they talk about a presenter, and then at other point they talk about it being virtual.
Maybe it is sort of a hybrid thing, though.
Yeah, that's kind of, I can't read that explicitly in how they're presenting it, but I think that would be my working, but
everybody.
Do we have any other commentary or okay. Yes, yay or nay?
Yay.
Deborah, yay or nay?
I'll go yay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Yay.
Karen, yay or nay? Okay, I read that as a yay again. So far, my lip reading, I think, is all right. And I'm
Okay,
in
yay.
favor as well. So that is unanimous. So now we come to the Healing Gardens music therapy.
I had two things. One, I noticed in their application, even though they're in Harvard, Harvard was like the only local cultural council not listed under the ones they were requesting funds from, which struck me as odd, but it could have been a typo. The other thing is, I think this is a wonderful program and I very much would like to support it, but I don't know that I could justify supporting it this year with so many right here in town programs being difficult to fund. That's just my 2 cents.
I mean, I consider Harvard close enough, though, given we have on against Bolton, that kind of makes Harvard more of a stretch. And I do like that it is something different. And personally, I find what music I'm listening to in a day is or not, it is very important to my mental health. I find it one of the most important tools of my own sanity. So I like the concept, but Harvard and $1,000 and everything being asked that we have more locally, I do question as well whether that is something we can justify.
I think we could justify it with a small amount of money, but I'm looking back to what we've already, there's only 4 programs that we've said no to, and it only adds up. Did I count this right? It only adds up to $2,000. So we got to cut back. I think it's an important program. And I think last year they said they served several people in Berlin in their program at the Healing Garden.
Well, just in terms of the money, my notes have us having rejected 5 so far for a total of 2,850, but that's still, we got asked first.
All right, which one did I miss then?
I have down negatives on guitar lessons for 500, the Marilyn Morales for 850, Neshoba for 500, the Patrick Smith Apnea Nebraska 500, and the special needs.
Oh, that's the one I missed. So 2,500.
2,850.
28. Okay, so so we're still $3,000.
Yeah.
And we still have more to go here.
Yeah. Any other commentary, or are we ready to vote on this one? Hearing no other commentary, Jess, yay or nay?
I do.
Oh, you have commentary? Yeah.
Well, I would just vote in favor of it because it just seems like more and more people every year, because it's one of those things where it's reaching out to people with cancer and other issues. I know people who have really benefited from the garden and this programming. And so I feel like I hate to miss someone who would really need it this year. I think we should give at least what we can to it. I just want to put in my 2 cents.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't feel that we have to fund them for the full amount, but I think it's
Right.
an important program that we can look at, even if it's $100, it's still
Yeah.
something to support what they're doing.
If there is no other commentary, I will now bring that to vote. Yes, yea or nay?
Yay, but I reserve the right to be a little tight-fisted with money next time.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, we can fund it for just 100 if we want to, but I vote,
Yeah,
we could fund them for
No.
$1 if we wanted to.
well, I guess I'm struggling. I know I really like this one, and I think it's important work, and I know we've had people from town use it.
Mhm.
I'm struggling with consistency with the reasons I've said no to others. Because this one's a little different and it's healing, I feel like I guess I can say yes. But I am struggling a little bit with
Oh, that's
wanting
fair.
to be consistent with my voting.
Well, struggling means that we're doing something, and you know, we're here for a reason. So, okay, so that was in favor. Deborah, yay or nay?
I say yay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
You see me? Yay.
Sandra, did we hear from you? Oh, we'll make an abstention. Karen voted in favor, and I vote in favor. Again, with the idea that we may be funding it for a lot less requested. That is 4 in favor with 1 abstention. Oh, that brings us on to the Matt York Johnny Cash program. So this past year, he did a program doing the music of the Highwaymen, which was a super group that included Johnny Cash, and so now this one is specifically Johnny Cash. I did talk with Bob Hodge at the library well, probably now a couple of weeks ago or so, but he had indicated that the program that was done this past, or seems like it was done recently. The one we funded in the last cycle was well received by the audience. Have any other commentary?
I think it's
When
interesting.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jess.
I guess I'm asking for clarification, because when I read through it and I was reading quickly, I didn't see him being supported by anyone in town. So is this a library sponsored?
I believe so. I'm not sure if the project mentioned specifically. The application may not have mentioned it specifically, but it is my understanding in talking with Bob that that was something that the library was connected to. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything specific.
No, I'm not either. There's one interesting thing is that he's applying for a music grant somewhere that if he receives it, he could offset a difference if he isn't granted the full amount.
I suppose if it were something that we did approve, so I might want to follow up with Bob to gauge whether that, or to definitively gauge whether the library was associating itself with it, but it was at least my understanding that it was. I think last year that was one where he also didn't have it in the application itself, but he had emailed our account to indicate that the library had connected with it. And I do recall last year, I think, confirming that with Bob. So I think this may be more of an oversight as to what needs to be in there, which and judge such an oversight, but I think it is my understanding that it is library adjacent, nothing else.
Okay.
Any other comments we want to make on this one? Hearing none, I will bring it to a vote. Yes, yay or nay?
On the understanding it's probably the library, sure.
Okay, Deborah, yay or nay?
Yay, same as Jess.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Yay.
Karen, yay or nay? Okay,
Yay.
another. Okay, and I vote in favor of it as well. And I will endeavor to talk to Bob and maybe relate to him or to the performer himself that we need that such matters should be a little more explicit in the application. So that brings us to the Elijah T. Grasshopper.
I have the same issue. I didn't see any who in town is supporting this.
Yeah, he said in his thing, this will be proposed at local Berlin Elementary School or town recreation department.
Right.
So he hasn't reached out to anybody. Last year he did it through the library, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I believe the application itself was by the performer rather than the library, but it did have the library support. And that I recall last year that I considered the estimate of the number of people they were expecting to serve overly optimistic, which I find again as well, like.
And he says it's up above where he says, where will the project take place? At local Berlin Elementary School or town recreation department. And then when you go down further, it says, where does the project take place? And it says in school.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it doesn't add up that if he's going to do it in, he hasn't reached out to the school.
And it says in one spot, estimated number of people served 100, and then total number of youth served 70. I mean, I suppose it could mean that it's serving 25 adults. But I know I mean, I have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I guess just at this point, I'm feeling like there's so many other activities that this one doesn't have any clear support in town. And I'm sort of at the point where I need clear support in town.
Yeah.
To justify a request of $750 when we are already going to be cutting so much from the requests.
And if he indeed is going to end up doing it at the school, it's putting us in a position where we're funding Berlin Memorial School a lot more than we normally do. This program, to add this program.
Well, my sense in how the program was described, it's like where it says, you know, this provides wholesome entertainment to ages 2 to 8, but like it includes some of the age range of the elementary school, but it really seems like it makes that it would be a library program, but it's not connecting itself with the library. And I haven't been to a ton of library programs. I recall, you know, 75 people served. I have a hard time imagining any of them having that number. And I mean, that doesn't need to have that number. It's not like, you know, we're a small town, you're not going to have a huge number of people out there. But I think it doesn't seem like a number that is based on any realistic estimate of who it's going to serve. I mean, I'm wondering how many children age 2 to 8 there even are in Berlin. You know, this would be imagining, you know, a very high attendance rate that
Well, he says it's in school, and how many 2-year-olds are in the Berlin Memorial School?
Very few. There maybe one, like if somebody's on an IEP in the preschool, but the preschool is 3 and older.
Mhm.
I just, I'm ready to vote on him, but that's just me.
Any other commentary on this? Hearing none, we'll bring it to a vote. Jess, yay or nay?
Nay.
Deborah, yay or nay?
I'm a nay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Nay on this.
Karen, yay or nay?
Nay.
And I vote against it as well, making it unanimous. Brings us to the home stretch of the 2 ones we passed over earlier. So that puts us back to the Assabet Valley Master Singers.
I'm ready to vote, but I don't know if anyone else wants to talk about it.
Well,
Where did they say their concerts are? Are they still Southborough, Westborough?
I believe so. Again, not too far away, but
Marlborough, Northborough, Westborough, Shrewsbury, it says this year.
It's never been anything I've never heard anyone talk about going to it. I mean, we have approved the Healing Garden one out of town, but that is kind of based on.
Yeah, we know people in town do use the Healing Garden.
Yeah, and I think that's more unique. You're not lacking for musical things happening in Berlin. I mean,
I feel that they probably will find funding in other communities that are more affected by it.
Yeah.
And they charge for tickets anyway.
A lot.
So yeah. Unless there's any other commentary, we're ready to bring this to a vote. Jess, yay or nay?
Nay.
Deborah, yay or nay?
Nay.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Nay.
And Karen, yea or nay?
Nay.
And I am against it as well, making that unanimous, which brings us to the improv as the last matter of grants to approve or approve.
I think the reasoning behind, well, it's not the same reasoning as behind the brass bands from in town, the Leslie Havens group. But I mean, I do feel like we've funded this a lot over the years. And I would love to support it if we could, but I'm already feeling like we're going to be reaching a point where we're giving people like $50 for some of these things if we keep saying yes to everything. And this one at least is one that's had a lot of time, and it's something that 19 Carter could sponsor themselves, and people might just have to pay for it. But it's not like it would be impossible for them to still do this program. They might just have to do it differently this year.
Yeah.
I know in the past, when we have not fully funded her, she just scaled back the number of days that she did the program. So again, I don't know how well attended it is. I'm sure there's people who absolutely love it and are very involved with it, but I just felt it might be time to take a break. But again, we can look at what we've cut out so far and see where we are, if we could offer her some funding.
I like Meredith. Sorry. I like Meredith, and I've attended her improv classes. I think there's been some suggested donation asked occasionally for it as well. So I think they could do that. So I kind of agree with giving her a break as much as I like her.
If my math is correct on spreadsheet I generated, not including her, if we fully funded, would fully fund all of the ones we have approved, that number is currently at 8,487. So we would, even if we reject this, we're still cutting out 1,500, but that is 1,500 spread across 13 grants. So take that how you will. This one, if approved, brings the number up to 9,112, which puts it closer to having to scale back 2,000 out of 14 grants. So I mean, I think personally it is something that I'd like to be able to approve for some amount, but I also accept the wisdom of consensus that it may be time to give them a year off. I think that is consistent with how we have operated in past, and if we were to reject it, I think we can make, that's something we can put into the rejection letter, indicate that we have, we're needing to the wealth out. So
yeah, I think in the rejection letter, it would have to say something about serving a small number of people, and that we really had to focus our funding on reaching larger groups of people this year.
And it does, I would say in general, regardless of how many people attended, that it does seem a little more specialized of a thing than some of the other, improv classes seem a bit more of a niche thing. So if there's no other commentary, we can bring that to a vote. Yes, yay or nay?
Nay.
Deborah, yay or nay?
No.
Sandra, yay or nay?
Nay.
Karen, yay or nay?
Nay.
And I shall make it unanimous that unfortunately this is one that we cannot afford to fund this year. So the only other matter I have on the agenda is that we need to schedule our next meeting. So obviously, all of the rejections need to go out and they have weeks to appeal. We wouldn't be meeting that soon anyway, so I think we're looking at ideally sometime in December. I think we discussed possible times. Last meeting was Friday, December 9th. I think that's kind of where we were looking at before. Is that a time we think we could aim to meet again? Thinking 7:30 again seems to be a workable time.
And for me.
Yep, works for me.
Nodding from Karen, still muted.
Yeah, pardon me. I try not to spare you guys for all the coughing.
I was gonna say, you and Sandra both sound like you don't feel so well. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, I got diagnosed with bronchitis. I rarely get ill, but it came my way. And I'm sure it'll take a week and I'll be okay. But
Okay.
is our starting time normally like 7:30?
Yeah, I think in past we've met at 7 o'clock. I think found through trial and error that 7:30 seemed to work better with people's schedules.
That works for me as well.
Okay, so let's aim to meet so that gives us time to get all of the rejection out and see if anyone feels. I don't think in the time I've been on the council we've had anyone appeal a rejection.
Not as long as I've been on it.
So yeah, hopefully no complications there. Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. That's the Smart Simple. We don't even send out rejection letters, do we? Isn't it just you click like the rejection and give a reason?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I think you just let me pending denials. Let's see. Yeah, you just go in and you check the box and say why it's being denied, and then they send something out to the
So Deborah, did you want to do that, or did you want me to do that, or?
You know what, right now with things the way things are for me, if you could do that, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll do that over the weekend. Yeah, so we'll meet tentatively on, well, I can say tentatively. Without it, as long as there's nothing that comes up between now and then, we'll meet 7:30 on Friday, December 9th to allocate the money. So, do we have a motion to adjourn?
We sure do.
Okay, and a second.
We adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay. So we'll bring that to a vote. Jess, yay or nay? Deborah, yay or nay? Sandra, yay or nay? That's that.
She's abstaining again.
Karen, yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay, and I'm in favor of adjourning. Thank you.